Imagine being trapped in a room, surrounded by the sounds of anguish and despair. For most, it would be suffocating. But for Vincent van Gogh, this confinement became a window to the universe. In 1889, while admitted to a mental asylum outside Saint-Rémy in Provence, Vincent created one of the most iconic paintings in history, the Starry Night. But how did this masterpiece come to be? Let's dive into the story behind the swirling skies. But this isn't just a tale of madness and genius. While Vincent did struggle with severe mental health issues, his time at the asylum wasn't the descent into chaos that many imagine. In fact, it was quite the opposite. The small, peaceful setting of Saint-Rémy, with its 41 patients, gave Vincent the space he needed to create. His doctors understood that art was his lifeline, and they allowed him the freedom to paint. And so, amidst the cries of the night, Vincent's creativity soared. But what really drove him to paint the Starry Night? It was June 1889, and Vincent had already been at the asylum for a few months. He had been painting almost constantly, producing over 150 works during his stay, an incredible feat considering his circumstances. The Starry Night was painted from memory, not observation, which was unusual for Vincent, who typically insisted on working directly from nature. This time, he allowed his imagination to guide his brush, creating a nocturne that was unlike anything he had done before. The swirling, turbulent sky, the towering cypress tree, and the glowing village below were all products of his mind, filtered through his unique vision of the world. The painting also reflects Vincent's deep interest in astronomy. Though painted from memory, the Starry Night contains elements that correspond to the actual night sky. For example, the bright star in the painting is likely Venus, which would have been visible at dawn in June 1889. The swirling forms in the sky may have been inspired by the images of spiral galaxies that were just beginning to be understood at the time. Vincent had a fascination with the cosmos, often seeing the night sky as a source of comfort and spirituality. To him, the stars were a symbol of the infinite, a connection between heaven and earth. Beyond the technical and astronomical aspects, the Starry Night is also a deeply personal piece. The cypress tree, a symbol of death in Mediterranean cultures, stretches up to the sky, bridging the earthly with the celestial. This was a time when Vincent was grappling with his own mortality, and the painting reflects his inner turmoil as well as his enduring hope. The vibrant blues and yellows, the thick, impasto brush strokes, and the swirling patterns all convey a sense of energy and emotion that is quintessentially Vincent. This was not just a painting, it was a manifestation of his very soul. But to truly understand the Starry Night, we need to place it within the broader context of the time. Vincent van Gogh was deeply influenced by the artistic movements and cultural trends that surrounded him. During his 2 years in Paris before moving to Provence, Vincent was exposed to the work of the Impressionists, artists like Monet and Pissarro, who revolutionized the art world with their use of light, color, and brushwork. These experiences were crucial in shaping Vincent's own style, which would later culminate in masterpieces like the Starry Night. However, Vincent didn't just absorb the techniques of his contemporaries. He also looked to the art of other cultures, particularly Japanese prints. The influence of Japanese art is evident in the Starry Night, with its flat planes of color, bold outlines, and dramatic cropping. Vincent was an admirer of Hokusai's The Great Wave, and it's fascinating to see how he translated the dynamic energy of Hokusai's seas into the swirling, tumultuous skies of his own work. This synthesis of Western and Eastern artistic traditions is one of the reasons the Starry Night feels so timeless and universal. Moreover, Vincent was creating the Starry Night during a critical time in the history of art. The late 19th century was a period of rapid change, as artists began to move away from traditional narrative-driven art and towards more abstract, expressive forms. Vincent's work, with its bold use of color and emotional intensity, was at the forefront of this shift, paving the way for modern art movements like Expressionism and Fauvism. Although it was largely unrecognized in his lifetime, Vincent's work would come to be seen as a crucial bridge between the old and the new, between the representational and the abstract. So, what if the Starry Night wasn't just a reflection of Vincent's mind, but a gateway into the future of art? What if this painting, created in a moment of isolation and turmoil, was actually paving the way for modern art as we know it? Imagine if Vincent had lived longer. How many more masterpieces could he have created? The Starry Night is not just a painting. It's a glimpse into the mind of a man who saw the world in a way that few others could. Despite the challenges he faced, Vincent van Gogh used his art to explore the depths of his soul and the universe. And while he may have dismissed this masterpiece as a failure, it remains one of the most beloved and influential works of art in history. Vincent's story is a reminder that out of the darkest moments, the brightest stars can emerge. Thank you for watching, and remember to look up at the night sky. It's more than just a view. It's a connection to the infinite.